Hello and welcome to Ukraine's economic news breakdown. Today, first news is a macro level, and it's acceptance of our country as a candidate to European Union. Now, the reason I'm breaking this down is because I want everybody to realize the impact of that decision, which is basically means nothing in real terms, but it has tremendous implications now and obviously long term. First and foremost, that is a recognition that Ukraine will win the war. That's number one. Number two, it is also a major signal to all of the investors around the world that Ukraine is going to be financeable, right? Because we are on that way. And in order for us to do that, to get to European Union, in order to receive the result in 2023 or 2029, right, we must basically be eligible to conduct business as any other European nation. That means rules to do business. That means standards, low risks, transparency. So all of that particular signal of candidacy gives a signal to investors who always want to be in before the big wave, right? We want to be early in the big trend, and Ukraine has enormous trend coming with $1 trillion estimated Marshall Plan type of facilities in terms of capital, recognition by many countries. Every country in the world is looking to do business with Ukraine. So there's a lot of momentum there. So that's why it's so important on the economic front that we have the status of candidacy, which will basically allow investors to really consider Ukraine as a long-term investment opportunity. So now news number two, and again here I'm getting back to my regular source, something I read every morning, I recommend to everybody, is Ukraine Business News. And we are going to be discussing from that cycle is basically, gas transit through Ukraine falls to 30-year low. So obviously one of the major challenges for Ukraine is how to utilize the extremely valuable transit system and a storage system, gas storage system, that is probably no longer going to be used by Russian Federation in the future. So number one is obviously storage. Storage is relatively easy. Ukraine already offers storage facilities to many countries in Europe, especially now that we need it for the winter coming up. The countries using it's a source of income. Ukraine also must, in my opinion, that Ukraine has enormous amounts of gas reserves in the ground. So Ukraine must very heavily invest into the development and of gas properties, which can be then put into the transit system and then again pushed to Europe, which will allow at this point, which is obviously going to take a decade if hopefully it comes, for Ukraine to become exporter of gas. And number three is obviously an opportunity for Ukraine to use this in a new innovative ways, technologies, hydrogen and the like. And again, I'm not a technical expert, but that's something that is being considered now. So for Ukraine, losing Russian gas is a $3 billion hit in terms of finance, in terms of transit. I believe it still is a contract, but who cares about contracts these days with Russia? So Ukraine must very actively now repurpose this asset, and it's a massive asset for Ukraine, and will be in the future. Now, and obviously the third news is we see continuous improvement in prices of Ukrainian bonds. And that's another macroeconomic news that is important, which allows again us to see a tendency of the global investors, major players in the financial markets, to start pushing the prices down. Why? Because there's more element to stability that everybody see in the near future for our country. And that's very exciting. Again, till next time, we're going to be breaking down news for you every week. Thank you so much. Please share our source, support us.